I literally the
I
day
should.
that I bought this, I visited my old coworker's baby who just like turned 3 months old. And I got her a Squishmallow too. I got her a little lamb named Sophie. And my coworker was like, oh yeah, like she loves, can you tell Patrick how much you love fruit videos? And I was like, are you talking about the fruit videos where they like jump around? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, I have seen those. I know exactly what you're talking about. Me and your baby.
Have seen them.
Me and your 3-month-old watch the same things on YouTube.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Successfully Unsigned. Today, your 3 favorite co-hosts talk about crowd work. How can you as an artist get your crowd more involved in your set, in your show, and get them to be active participants of the performance? In this discussion, we pull mostly from things we've seen in the past, shows that we've been to, and even shows that we've been a part of and performed at, some basic do's and don'ts that we've experienced and learned over the years, and knowledge from our experience that will help you get your crowd more involved. As always, we hope you enjoy this episode, and if you want to hear more of Successfully Unsigned, follow us at successfully_unsigned on Instagram and Unsigned Podcast on TikTok. Also, check out our website at su-podcast.com where you can sign up for our email list. And lastly, do us a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Enjoy the show.
Bobblehead. Yeah.
Oh, you can't hear it, so you can't rap.
Don't test him.
We in the shack.
Oh, man.
I'm on the attack. No, I was kidding. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. We're back. We've had a busy month of shows with guests, and we've been doing a little bit of hybrid, so we've had some episodes with us.
Yeah, we've been really well. We've been spacing it out well.
Yeah, we've been doing better, because there for a while, we didn't have an episode with just us.
Yeah, almost 2 months.
Yeah.
We had so many people that want to be on the show, and so thankful for
so popular.
So thankful for all the people that have been on it and have wanted to and that have reached out to us. We still have a backlog of artists and guests that we want to have on the show. And if you know anybody that you want on the show and that you want to see have an interview with us and have, a little performance, let us know.
Yes.
Let us know who that is.
Well, actually, we
Tag
have
'em.
a little submission form on our website now.
Yeah.
We do?
So
Tell them about that.
So if you're interested in being on Successfully Unsigned, you can now just go to our website, or you're welcome to DM us or message us or anything. Comment here, and we'll send you the Google form, and it will give you all the information. So us unprofessionals are getting a little more professional.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you check out the whole website to kind of see what you're going to be looking at being a part of, because I think we have some great content, some great stuff that's going on.
Yo, we're stepping it up.
Yeah.
We're stepping it up. We have a newsletter that just came out today.
Mm-hmm.
I did a merch review, concert reviews. He did like a little tech thingy, which tells you how much I know about it. I did read through it all, and I was like, I didn't understand it. Maybe I needed like Subway Surfers next to it for me to fully like understand it.
Maybe at some point I'll do like a little video that explains. I've thought about taking that topic as like a little
Explanation of the explanation.
Explanation video. No, it's a little bit about compression, just kind of understanding what the tools are and what the settings are when you look at a compressor, because a lot of people don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be the first to admit, for the longest time, I didn't understand that. You just kind of start moving dials and hope it works. But there's a better way, right? If you understand the tools you have at your disposal, you can make things work the way you want it to.
I know you never watched iCarly, but did you?
Yeah.
Do you remember Tech Time with Freddie?
Oh my gosh. That is literally him. That's literally Dale. I forgot about that.
The kid who would film iCarly, well, like in the show, he would make the show for him. He was like this super ultra nerd and like did all their tech and stuff. And they were doing a 24-hour live stream to beat a world record in the show. And he was like, can I please do Tech Time with Freddie? And they're like, no, Freddie, no one wants to listen to that. And he like was teaching them about light bulbs, and then it broke and it like let out this gas and they had to like evacuate. But they kept the stream going. Anyway, so you're like Tech Time with Freddie. Tech Time with Daly.
Rest in peace, iCarly. But yeah, the appreciation post, or not appreciation post, but appreciation moment for these two guys. They've been working their butts off, getting content out for you guys, and super grateful for you guys and what you all have been doing the past few weeks. So thank you. And I've been there for the ride, but I've been slacking. These guys have been holding it down. So appreciation for them. And tonight we're going to be talking about crowd pleasing. Or not crowd pleasing.
Crowd pleasing,
crowd pleasing, crowd work, energy, crowd energy, that kind of thing.
Our crowd tonight is my plush of the night.
They just keep coming.
Carolina. I just got her for half off at Target.
Actually,
Happy Easter.
It's a very nice name for us. That's like actually the best name I've heard for us.
Yeah.
So
what'd you say?
She's really cute.
What's the name?
Carolina.
Is it an orange?
It's a carrot.
Oh, a carrot.
I should have worn my carrot onesie and I could have matched with her. Oh my goodness. Why didn't I do that? I'm so mad.
Why did you sound like a 3-year-old? Why didn't I do that?
I told you the fruits videos.
You are an iPad kid.
I literally, the day that I bought this, I visited my old coworker's baby who just like turned 3 months old. And I got her a Squishmallow too. I got her a little lamb named Sophie. And my coworker was like, oh yeah, like she loves, can you tell Patrick how much you love fruit videos? And I was like, are you talking about the fruit videos where they like jump around? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, I have seen those. I know exactly what you're talking about. Me and your baby
have seen them.
Me and your 3-month-old watch the same things on YouTube.
You mean I'd love to see your YouTube recommended. I would love to.
I don't think I do.
Just that. It's just that and Nicki Minaj music videos.
There's been a couple times I've come up on like the our YouTube on our podcast YouTube to look for something, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing stuff. I'm like, what is this? Who's watching this? But then I'm like, okay, I know it ain't David.
I'll be logged in onto our account, and when I need to quickly pull up a Wendy Williams post or a video to show people how I feel, like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to switch accounts to do that. So
I mean, yeah, I think. Even when we just looked up the We Can't Stop video for Miley Cyrus, it just a plethora of like Miley Cyrus videos came after. I was like,
there's a lot of like Melanie Martinez on there right now because I've been watching a lot of those.
There could be worse things for sure.
That's true.
All right, so first segment we're gonna be doing
showing You don't even know which button it is.
I need to add that. I do.
You do.
I'm gonna take a gander. I'm gonna take a guess.
I hope that's right. We're not on headphones to know.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah. You're going to hear it either way. All right. So who's going first still?
All right.
What are you wearing that you're going to show off today?
I'm not wearing it.
Okay.
I mean, I could wear this. Or I could say what this is. This is actually one of the other most comfortable shirts that I own. And it is for a local company, Nashville Recording Supply. You guys are awesome.
Sponsor us.
Would love a sponsorship.
Please.
You guys are awesome over there. If you're listening to this, I'm one of those guys that brought you Contraband last year at the AES golf tournament. Hope to see y'all again there this year. But no, my show and yell item is not something I'm wearing today.
Nice. Well, something you're going to be wearing?
No, okay. I don't think I can wear this item.
Okay.
But my house can.
Is it your house?
No.
Okay.
My house can wear it though.
Is it a real?
Show it?
I don't know what's happening.
The poster on the wall behind you. Take a look, everybody. The big giant.
The pee poster? Oh, it's a different one.
Yeah,
not the pee poster.
It's not the dog pee poster anymore.
And there's no trail of ants going up anymore.
That was string lights.
Yeah.
That was string lights, which I did finally take down. But no, that right there is another throwback to the 2024 Murfreesboro Battle of the Bands. We worked with a local artist that was out of Lebanon here in kind of central Tennessee and had these custom paintings made for the Battle of the Bands. We had 4 of them done this year, and he took 3 of them back and was going to do some other things with them. But I kept this one. I bought this one from him because I'm like, this is just, it's cool, man. It's just cool.
Can I ask, is this a crown?
It is. It is a crown. It's kind of with the idea of like the championship, concept for who's the champions of the 24 Battle of Bands, who wears the crown. And actually, one of my friends, a mutual friend of ours, the guy, Michael, that took our photos for the podcast, took a photo of me, and he happened to actually line it up because that was on the side of the stage that the singer-songwriter was this year.
The crown was on your head?
Yeah. Yeah. It's actually a pretty cool photo.
Did you feel like a king?
I did not. I was just trying to kill some time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was an okay performance on my part. That is, the bands did great. But yeah, that's my show and yell item.
Nice.
And I'm like, it's cool. I got to keep it. It's got to go up on the wall.
Could you say it one more time? What it is?
It is the Murfreesboro Battle of the Bands.
Got it. All right, Patrick. So different without headphones.
Emo peep. So, like I said, it was just Easter, and Walmart this year released Emo Peeps, and I'm really, really sad because I saw it on TikTok, and I literally have 2 friends that work at Walmart that I could have texted and been like, can you grab me some? Like, because they have this one, a yellow one, and a little one that has emo fringe that I really wanted to get. And I actually really wanted to get Atlanta from Hexproof, because, you know, I feel like she's like my emo friend. I feel like I'm really much in my emo era right now because of her. But I also have a regular yellow peep, so this is his goth girlfriend.
Why do your peeps have a better love life than you?
Anyway, she has a little choker, and it's to match.
Ouch.
It's to match my Trolls Poppy shirt, emo Poppy shirt, along with my Trolls necklace.
I just noticed that.
So once again, I watch the same thing as toddlers because I love Trolls.
Hey,
it's so good. Anyway, I love Peeps. I know some people do not like them, but I am a Peeps fan all the way. I've always been obsessed with Peeps. I used to like look up the Peeps competition that they would have every year, where they would make different like scenes in movies and television and video games, and I wanted to be part of it so bad. I never did though. But I just have always been obsessed with Peeps. There used to be an account on TikTok called like Peeps Lore, and she would like talk about the battle and the war of the Peeps. It was a whole very interesting thing. I don't know if she's still active, but Queen, if you are, thank you for what you have done for our community.
Wait, hold on.
She kind of looks like this, actually.
Can we just go back to a war of Peeps? It doesn't have arms.
I think it's between the chicks and the bunnies or something.
Huh.
Yeah.
You know, I never was a fan of Peeps myself. Like to eat them, like just wasn't a flavor palette for me. But my sister liked them, but she liked stale Peeps.
That's weird.
I've heard of that.
Like that was like
wise. Yeah. Somebody told me that when I was growing up.
I mean, like I'll still eat them, but they're better soft.
All right, that's
my favorite kind is cotton candy. Do you like Peeps?
Not really. Not a Peeps person. Okay. Like chocolate. What makes this emo real quick? Oh, it's got the choker.
Well, it has choker. It has like Peeps on there. It has like these little buttons. That might be a tattoo even.
Okay, that's the yellow hair.
She kind of has this like hair with the eyeliner. The other one.
Oh, the rings.
Oh yeah, the earrings. The other one, the yellow one, which I also wanted to get. I should have just got it because I did see it, but I was like, I don't want to pay for both. But then my mom ended up paying for this one, which was really sweet.
You know, the little bunny emblem on the bottom left of it reminds me of you remember those girls that would like go and tan, and they'd always have like the little the Playboy emblem that would like be like somewhere on their leg, and they would like not tan.
Yeah, very early 2000s.
Yeah,
I mean, shout out to Peeps for doing a emo version. Please bring it back next year so I can get the one with the emo fringe and the yellow one that has glasses and cheetah print and a safety pin in her ear. I need them all. So
tonight will be the night that I fall for you.
Copyrighted. That's too much like the original. What you just saying there? Gonna get copyright strike. All right, is it my turn?
What you got?
Maybe.
All right. So this is
I know what that is.
My Zoom.
Yell it.
H4 handy recorder. Doing the sound effect and playing the sound effect. So I brought this honestly because of the story behind it, not really because of the actual item. You can see it's kind of torn up. I can't really use it anymore because the slot where the SD card goes in is a little messed up. But this, I had an earlier version of this too, was my first way I could record my songs. And so I would record a part, like a guitar part or something. I would take out the SD card, put it in the laptop, drag it into Pro Tools, take the SD card out, put it back in, record another part. And it would take so long. But honestly, like just the nights making music with this thing because I mean, it would pick up everything. Like it would pick up my mom making dinner. It'd pick up my dog, like my dad in there. One time, like there's a song where you can hear my dad in the background go, "David, time to eat." He was screaming dinner was ready, and like I kept in the recording.
Those nights are vibes, weren't they?
They were vibes for sure, and it's not like I had anything else going on.
Yeah.
This is when I actually had like time to like do things, and it was just so nice. And yeah, this is my first mechanism of recording. This was like really my first way to get my music out, and I didn't really even understand anything about DAW or like what I was using. All I knew how to do was drag the file in, line it up, and adjust volume. That's literally all I know how to do. Quality was terrible, but this is where it all started. And so it just kind of holds a special little place for me. And you can do a lot of stuff on it. Like this is good for if you're recording like you can do interviews with this. Like you can do.
I've seen it been used for interviews.
Yeah, this is like a good field recorder, like to take with you. And so I highly recommend it. Zoom sponsor us.
Are they still around?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Zoom. Who do you think makes the web conference software?
Yeah.
Oh, that Zoom.
Yeah. It's the same Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Zoom sponsor us.
Zoom, stepping up your game a little bit.
Peep sponsor us. Zoom sponsor us. Squishmallow sponsor us. Nashville Recording sponsor us. Everyone else sponsor us.
Everyone we've mentioned tonight.
MTSU, Trolls.
You know,
maybe not MTSU.
I had a similar kind of thing when I first started too. I didn't have mine wasn't quite that fancy, but I had a Radio Shack MP3 recorder.
Nice.
It was my dad's that he would use to like record speeches and sermons and stuff like that. But I stole it a couple nights and like had like the little like stand, like folding stand prop, you know, and set it on like a little card table or like a little TV tray and just start playing into it, you know, thinking, man, this is great. Yeah. So cool.
I mean, because we didn't know what else was out there. Yeah. I mean, we thought, oh, this is it, you know, like this is how I'm going to make my music.
Did you have a flip camera too?
I did. I had a flip camera. I used to think I was like a documentary filmmaker. Like I would
see it.
I would like walk around on you can ask all my friends, like from when I was growing up, I would take that flip camera everywhere and I would film everybody. And they'd just be like,
so
stop.
Cute.
You know, that's bringing back some memories that I forgot I had. Now, I never did like the camera thing, but I had my own little newspaper. Yeah.
A little newspaper?
And one or two actual like radio shows that I recorded when I was a kid. Yeah. Nice. I called it the Noontime News. And I got family members to write like little articles and be like a little one page, and I would email it to family or whatever.
That's so cute.
And I would write stuff, and I would take pictures, and like I was like a newspaper editor, and I compiled the thing. So much fun. I did that.
And now
for
you're making our newsletters.
Now I'm making the newsletters for the podcast. Yeah, I'd forgotten all about that. Every now and then, if I pull up my email, I actually it's the same email that I had when I was a kid. And I have like the little folder.
Yeah.
You need to find one. That can be one of your show and yells.
It might be. Yeah. But I did like, I got like a little, microphone that plugs into like, you know, like when the old desktop computers had the little like 1/8" microphone input.
Yeah.
I bought a microphone, 1/8" microphone from Dollar Tree.
Nice.
And I used that to record like a little radio show. I only did like 2 episods of that.
Rest in peace, Dollar Tree.
I don't even know that I ever actually sent it to anybody.
Still around?
I think they're going out of business.
No, they're not. They just raised their prices to $7.
I heard somebody was going out of business. Dollar Tree or Dollar something.
No,
but
Family Dollar.
Family Dollar. That's what it was.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
that's so cute.
Yeah. It was training you
about that.
All those moments were training you for now.
Yeah, radio show, newspaper, and now we're here.
Now we're here.
And
who would have thought?
Yeah,
I didn't know you were a DJ before I was.
I thought I was the DJ. What were you doing?
Well, I'm DJ Patty G. Because I was DJ Patty G on WMTS.
Okay,
and you're DJ Overheat, and then he's just D-Shack. Or I guess you could be DJ D-Shack, but...
No, that's too much.
Yeah,
it sounds like
it's a lot of work. We could all be DJs. Just do a DJ set. Put on a show. But in the meantime, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into the topic tonight, which is crowd work. Be right back.
Thank you for watching this clip of Successfully Unsigned. If you want to see more content like this in the future, please hit that like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to find us on social media platforms at successfully_unsigned or on our website at su-podcast.com.
Welcome back to Successfully Unsigned. And tonight, whatever day it is, where you're watching, when you're watching, maybe you're watching across the world. I don't know.
Where are you watching from?
We are talking about crowd work, and we're going to work you as a crowd and be entertaining.
There you go.
Okay, so.
Okay, let's go. Oh.
You're not even, it's A-O, let's go.
You know, I was never a cheerleader. Unlike
it's not
you
even
your pictures.
It's a song. Also, my pictures are me rowing, not cheerleading.
I got cheerleader outfit.
I should have been a cheerleader, though. I would have been great at
it. Patrick.
I would have been good at it.
That was here.
Row, you boat.
Okay, so I picked this topic because I just went to a really good show. This is like covering my face. I need people to see me.
Lifted higher.
Animals.
Yeah, I am. Anyway, so I just went to a local show the other night at the Cobra in Nashville, and it was for our friend Leah, LOL, it's Leah, who we just had on the show. Go check out her interview. I think it's probably the last one we just did, assuming when this comes out. And super talented. But with her was Vern. And y'all, if you have not seen Vern or heard Vern's music, do yourself a favor and go check them out immediately after this episode, because it's V3RN. I am such a huge fan of them. I'm obsessed with them. I want to get them on the show. They just have no skips on their discography. It's so good. It's so good. And same with LOL, it's Leah. I told her, I was like, I was a fan first, but they did a show with out of town bands from Pennsylvania. I think they're both from Philly, maybe, but they're definitely both from Pennsylvania. One is called Goalkeeper, and the other is called Floor Space. And all four of these bands, y'all, at the Cobra, had the crowd going. It was truly the best local show I've ever been to. Like, starting out with Vern, I mean, I'm already hyped because like I just love their music, and I was running late and I was like booking it to get in there in case I missed their set. And I did miss the first two songs, unfortunately, but as soon as I got in there, I was singing. Juliana, the lead singer, handed me the mic at one point, except it was like during this belting part, and I was like, ah! Like, it was really awkward. She's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hand it to you during that one part. Like, I just made it awkward. I was like, it's okay, girl. I got you. You're good. You're good. But they just were really good at like getting the crowd going. And Tommy, one of their band members, like he has like this long hair and he was just going crazy. I believe he's a guitarist. One of two guitarists. Is that normal to have two guitarists in a band?
Yeah.
Okay. He's one of two guitarists then. Anyway, he was going crazy. And then next was Floor Space. And like I said, they were from Pennsylvania. Kind of gave me like Blink-182 vibes. Just three guys, but they were really getting into it. They were like getting people. You know how everyone's always like, crowd, move up, move up, move up. And then like no one actually moves.
Yeah.
But people were actually moving. And then so they just had really good energy. I really like their music. I need to like actually go listen to their music. And then Goalkeeper, y'all, their drummer was the happiest guy I've ever seen in my entire life. This man could not stop smiling the entire set. And he just like, when you talk to him, he was just like, thank you so much. Like, he was just such a happy guy. I don't know. His name was Cody. Shout out to Cody. I was obsessed with him. He was just so like, I don't know. He was just having the best time of his life. And then their guitarist was like going crazy, just running all over the stage. They were also doing this really fun scavenger hunt with some really like crazy things on there. Basically through their tour, because Floor Space and Goalkeeper were touring together. And so you just accumulated points, and some weren't worth as many points because some would just be like, I don't know, like get a picture with a person in the crowd. And then another would be like jump off a roof or something. Not actually. That wasn't one of them. But there were some really insane ones.
Going back straight up to some 70s rock and roll here. All right.
There were some like really like one was like sleep in a Walmart and like I don't know, just some other things in there. But one was drink 3 Red Bulls before a set, and their guitarist did that. So that might be also why he was, which I am not suggesting you do that. As someone who has heart issues, I am not suggesting that you do that to do crowd work. Yeah. But having the energy was definitely part of it. And like everyone was getting into it. Once again, everyone was like moving forward. And then LOL It's Leah went on, and I love Leah's music, but she was filming a music video that night. So she was like, guys, I really need you to like, just give it your all. And everyone gave it. Like I was with Atlanta from Hexproof. She is my concert buddy. And I have never seen Atlanta go so hard during a show. Like she was going wild. I jumped on her back at one point, and there were like, everyone was like, what in the world? There's a picture of it. And there's the poor girl beside us is like, oh my goodness. Like, anyway, it was just a really, really great show. And after talking to all of the artists afterward, you could just tell like their hearts were really warmed, and like everyone just had a really good time. Like even the people who weren't performing that night, Jack the Underdog, Glitch Gum was there. Glitch Gum just did a remix with LOL It's Leah. And I got to meet him and see Jack the Underdog again. He's really big on TikTok. And just like even the way they were talking, they're like, that was just such a good show. Like there was Shakira Chinchilla was there too. Just everyone, there was a lot of camaraderie and like very much just a local community music feel. And so I wanted to bring up this topic just because I thought that they did a really good job. We told Leah, we're like, you just need to tell everyone for every show that you're filming a music video, and people are going to get hyped because everyone was like, I want to be in this video. I want to be in the camera. So especially when the camera came around, people were losing it. So, but like I said, even before then, people were really getting hyped through all of the music, whether they knew who the artists were or not. Because especially Goalkeeper and Floor Space, since they're not local bands, no one knew. Like they're like, has anyone ever heard of us? And obviously some people did, especially people who are following the tour, or I think Goalkeeper has performed with Fern before. And so some people did know, but for the most part, none of us knew who they were, but were really getting into it. So nice. I kind of want to hear y'all's like opinions on crowd work, especially as performers, what you have seen that works, what you have seen that doesn't work. And then I have actually a few more thoughts later, especially on like crowd participation. But
go ahead, David. You have more experience than I do on the performance side.
I think there are a lot of things, honestly, that I would say from an artist perspective. First of all, you had mentioned the drummer. I feel like get you a drummer that has energy, because the drummer controls the pace of the show. It controls the overall kind of vibe of the show. Like a lot of drummers of bands that I really like that I meet are like almost as well known as like the singer. Like they're
shout out Quentin Kufal.
Quentin. Be a main character, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Or try and find a drummer that is a main character and not just somebody that is like in the background.
So I think that's one of the easiest positions on a typical, rock group formation to be sedentary, which feels opposite because they're the ones moving the most. Yeah. But they're also, they're the one that is, you go to shows that has the easiest time not really getting involved in the music, which is kind of weird to think, but it's kind of that way.
Yeah, the Floor Space drummer, like I said the Goalkeeper drummer like was just smiling the whole time, but even the Floor Space one, he had a mic next to him, like he was singing some, and he was, while drumming, he broke a stick, which I guess I don't know if that's normal or not for drummers, but either way, like he was going hard, so even he was a really fantastic drummer.
I think you have to think about, where does energy from a crowd come from? In my opinion, it comes from comfortability. So like how comfortable a crowd is with you is directly proportional to how much energy you're going to get from the crowd. So if you come into a set, let's just say you walk into a show, you're there to see the last act. And so you come in a little earlier, you catch the act beforehand. You don't know the band members. You don't know anything about this band. What's going to make you start to, obviously everyone has their own personal preference of music. That's subjective, right? But let's say this band is similar to the band that you're there to see. What are some things that you're going to be looking for? Or what are some things that are going to put you in the frame of mind to where you're focused, you're not on your phone, you're whatever? Because that to me is like how I can see if people are really interested, is like if you look out in the crowd and people are like on their phone.
You can
like,
tell.
You can always tell. It's a big tell. And so I think the first thing is the band chemistry that you have. And if you want to hear more about band chemistry, go check out my episode with Kyle and Mello. We talked a lot about that and like band dynamics. That is something that audience members can pick up on. If you are just stagnant and you're not interacting with any of the players and you're just kind of, you're up there going through the motions, people are going to know that 100%. People are also going to know if you are having, not even having a rough day, but if you don't use music as an outlet, people are going to know if you don't use music as like an outlet to do what you love. And like, they're going to be able to tell if your happiness doesn't truly partially come from your music.
Yeah.
And so all of that factored together. So you come in there, you see, okay, this band, they're really tight with each other. There's a fun dynamic. They're having fun. So if they're having fun,
100%.
I want to have fun. Like,
100%.
and so that it's all contagious.
Well, and let me brag on you, David, because he just had a show at Punk Walk in Nashville, first show of the year. And he had, we've talked about it so many times, it was like a successfully unsigned all-star show. He had Quentin on the drums. He had Kyle on the bass. He had Mello singing with him. And then our friend Sadiqa with a saxophone.
Dude's
and
always
then
got good energy.
Maxwell is another friend of ours on the keys. And the first thing I said to David afterward was like, you guys have amazing chemistry up there. And people were getting into it, like the whole crowd. And shout out to Holden and Tonka and Justin Eberhard. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say her last name. And Lauren Gunn,
Lauren was killing it too.
Who showed up too, and like especially Holden, Tonka, and Justin were really getting into. Well, Lauren too, but like especially Holden, like they were really getting into your music and some of the covers that you did too, which I'm sure you'll talk about. But like you guys just had really great chemistry, and it worked so well. Like you guys were just having so much fun.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like it was fun. Like for me, it's like I've talked about this on the show before. My anxiety about a show ends on the first chord.
Yeah.
The first chord I strum, it's like, well, it is what it is, you know? And after that, it's fun. And so next tip, have one or two people that are going to be your hype people.
Yeah.
Assign them, pay them, whatever you have to do. Be like, hey, stand in front of the stage and jump around like this is the best music you've ever heard. That is also contagious because if you have 100%. Hype people,
that's such a good tip.
You're gonna draw other people in. Also, the smaller the venue, if you're an earlier artist, the smaller the venue and more intimate the venue, the better.
Absolutely.
Because a cramped space, I wouldn't say cramped. You're hoping that like it's just more intimate. It's like I don't know. I don't want to compare it to this, but it's like I don't know when you're growing up and you're in school and like it's story time or whatever and everyone's listening to the story and everyone's kind of huddled up. It's just like that feeling of fellowship and communion together, listening to music. So,
you know, and that's a really good point that you bring up because we've talked about this concept in other ways in the sense of find the place that you fit, find the place where you kind of belong in a sense of like socially in the music business, but also find the place that fits when it comes to venues. And I'm not talking like vibe of the place because and that does matter sometimes, right? So if you're playing country stuff, maybe you don't play it as a typical like hip hop venue. Might not be the best place for you there, and vice versa, right? Find the venue that fits for your genre of music, but more importantly, like you mentioned, find the place that you can fit a crowd in. the last thing, the most demoralizing thing would be to like do your first show in an arena and you have your mom and your mom's friend and your best friend show up.
Yeah.
Right. You know how demoralizing that would be to have thousands of seats and 4 people. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
It's better to go to a place, a smaller venue, and have too many people there that they can't fit in the space than it is to go to 100%. A giant place and
that
it
makes
feel
you
empty.
seem more desirable.
It makes you seem more desirable. It's going to give you a boost of confidence because you're like, hey, this place is full. These people, there's a lot of people here that want to see you. And that is going to bring energy to the crowd. That's going to bring energy to you. That's going to make you seem more desirable to future, booking, to all kind of stuff. And you can scale up from there. But if you go too big, you're running that risk of hitting and hurting your own pride too. Like we talked about on one of our last episodes, of getting humbled by the music industry. It's going to happen. Sure. But that's one way that you can control that it won't happen as likely is find a place that you can fill, whether that's you by yourself or whether that's you with getting an opening band or 2 or whatever that looks like, or whether you're the opening band for somebody else, whatever, start off in smaller venues. Yeah. It's going to help you out.
I really, really like what you said about finding a couple people to just really be your hype person, because there are people out there who like, okay, I'm going to go back to a concert that we just had. Glitch Gum, who I met, shout out to him. If you need any like remixes or anything, hit him up. He's really cool. But immediately when he got there for, I think, Vern's set, and he taps me on the shoulder, gives me a hug, and says, I love your energy. And I was like, I don't know who you are, but I love your energy too. And the whole show, all 4 bands, he was going all out, just moving around, just really getting hype. Even for Goalkeeper, Juliana from Vern was right next to me, and she like tapped me, and she just like started going. We both just started like partying basically, and like her coworker who was like in his 50s was there, and he was like going all out. Keep hitting the mic, I'm sorry. And like I said, Atlanta, like especially for LOL, it's Leah, just like she got me hyped. She's like, let's go. Like we are going hard for this music video. We are going to make this the best crowd music video there is. And just when you have people like that, and I try and be that person, but I like get embarrassed too sometimes when I'm just like, okay, I'm the only one who's like kind of moving around. Everyone's just kind of standing there, and like it's awkward being just that person. And so especially if you can get like multiple people to do it, then more people are going to feel more inclined. Like I know I feel that way. Like, okay, this person's dancing. I can let go and rock out to Vern's music, rock out to Hexproof, rock out to LOL, rock out to whoever, rock out to David. And
the domino effect.
Yes, very much so.
And it's the same way, like, I think back to the very first show that I ever performed as like my own music. Man, I was nervous. I was so nervous. Honestly, looking back, I'm like, it was definitely a first show. Like, it wasn't a great performance. But the thing I vividly remember is amongst all of that stuff, and I'm feeling nervous, and all this stuff is, I'm like, I'm not doing that great. Even in the show, I'm like, it's okay. It's whatever. I remember one guy in the back of the venue. It was a friend of mine, Jake Martino, and like we got to. There was one song I was about to start, and I said the name of it. Like I just remember him. He started a chant, right? He just started a chant. Dale, right? Just being a hype man, and that gave me so much more confidence going into that next song, right? And in that same song, he's the one that started like just clapping with the beat and getting and it is a domino effect with the crowd too in those kind of situations, right? You get 1 or 2 people to start it, and everybody else will go along with it, right? And that can help so much. If you're up on that stage, giving you that extra confidence.
And I would just like to say, in Dale's live album that you can stream on Spotify under Dale Shack, you can hear me screaming.
Yeah, you can. A lot.
For help. No, okay.
Thinking about kind of other things as it comes to crowd pleasing, touching on something you brought up earlier, David, and you talked about too, Patrick, about chemistry on stage. Kind of related to that is, you have to remember that as an artist, you are performing and you are entertainment, right?
Yes.
Kind of for better or worse, you can debate it. Gone are the days where people can kind of just get up there and sing a song and that be, oh, wow, this is amazing. Unless you are, in the right genre and you fit it in the right spot. Right? If you have
like fantastic songwriting and fantastic vocals.
Right. Unless, very, very rarely can you just get up there and just simply sing a song, play a song, and the crowd go wild.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's ways you can do it, but we're not going to get into that. Because for the majority of people, you have to perform. You have to find some way to make your show entertainment beyond just, hey, we're going to play some songs. Whether that's, feeding off your other, musicians' energy, whether that's playing cover tunes that gets people involved because they know the song, they feel like they can relate to it. It's something that they can sing to, to whatever that takes. Like I think of Alice Cooper is one of the biggest, I think, examples of it's a performance. I mean, the man for how many decades has done his whole it's like a whole gothic themed show. It's a theatrical show. And his most well-known thing is he's got a guillotine section where he goes and he gets his head chopped off every show. He has a giant guillotine.
I love that.
And he does, it's a huge production. It is a theatrical show. And I don't know how old the man is. I mean, he's been doing it. He's been doing it for a long time. And that's still part of his set. He still gets his head chopped off in every set, is from what I've heard.
I love that so much.
And he to me is the embodiment of that concept of it is a performance. So whatever you have to do, I'm not saying go build a guillotine, but whatever you have to do, figure out how to make the crowd out there engaged and involved in your show with a performance, whether that's with your face and the expressions you make. Like I think about, there was a band called 7 Year Witch that I saw. They were opening for Hinder at a show I went to here last year, year before last.
It was at least 2 or 3 years ago.
I don't remember how long ago it was. They did a great job. They performed. Their lead singer, I just remember his thing was he'd go hard and heavy. I think he played guitar too. I can't specifically remember, but he'd go hard and heavy in the songs, and then all of a sudden he would just make these weird faces at everybody and just stare people down with crazy eyes, and you're like, what is going on? And then he would just, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. And then he would just hop right back into it. That was a thing that he would do. And it was so intense, but also comedic, and it fit, cause they were playing metal, right? They were playing straight up, just hardcore metal. And he would just randomly do that. And it was so in a weird way, innocent, but funny, which is you don't think about that being metal as a stereotype, but it kind of is that dichotomy, right? But it fit with what they were doing because he made it fit. He made that part of his character. Meanwhile, everybody else is just the long hair kind of well, yeah, we're tough guys kind of thing. Yeah. But then, he would just be cracking up, making him, you could tell he was having fun with it. He was making himself laugh. It's like comedians, you got to laugh at your own jokes because you might be the only one.
Right. And you have to get to that point. This comes back to practice. You have to get back to a point where the muscle memory is there and the nerves are gone, basically, because the song so well, because that's the only place comfortability can set in, is when you're not thinking about what's this chord, what's that note. So I think that's kind of the bridge to that. I will also say, kind of on a related topic of that sort, I'd say with crowd work, definitely in your set, if you can, incorporate some covers that most people will know.
100%.
Even especially if you're newer, 100%. Find a song that's semi-popular or really popular, and if you can nail it, if you can do your version, a good derivative version, that's your in. That's a door. People will hear that and you'll get their attention with that. Yes. And then after that, maybe play an original once they have your attention. But on that cover, that's your opportunity to do crowd work. Yeah. So Mello, on this last show, he was going to do this, but he didn't do it for some reason. I was like, no, you should have done it. But we played a Thundercat song, and it was Them Changes. It's popular song that was on TikTok for a while. Nobody move, there's blood.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So on that one, he was gonna do something where he like taught the crowd like a part, like he's like that like little last part, and he was gonna have them do that at the end while he like riffed over it. And so I was like, that I don't know if that's gonna work in this small room, but we had enough of a crowd to where it might have worked. So we probably should have done that, but that's just kind of a tip to say, if you have originals, play the originals, but also like find some covers that will kind of get your foot in the door with the crowd, get them to feel, because that's going to help cultivate some of that comfortability as well with the crowd. If they hear something they know, that takes them back to a time when they listen to that song, and you can connect there. So
I have two things on that. I 100% agree about covers. As an audience member, like honestly, while I can be like, oh my goodness, they're really good, like I want to check out their music, like I'm not gonna get moving quite as much as if it were a cover. Speaking of Vern, the first time I saw Vern, I was like, oh, their music's pretty good. And they did a cover of Black Sheep from Scott Pilgrim, and Atlanta was like, you're going crazy. Like I was jumping all over the place. I was going wild because I am obsessed with that song. And that was what immediately sold me on Vern. And I was like, I am going to go check out their music later. Because I was like, yeah, like I like their music so far. And there was another song called 25 that they did that was really good. But either way, like that is what sold me. And I am such a huge like proponent of covers because like as someone who just loves popular songs, I'm like, yeah, I want to hear the popular songs too. I actually saw something on Instagram from this guy who gives a lot of music advice. He goes under Bacon Bits. A lot of music people follow him. Long hair, holds a cigar.
Okay, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
He was like, he suggested that people end their set with a cover. Now, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you can do that. If you don't want to do that, I would understand why you wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But he's like, it makes people remember you.
Yeah.
Because, and that's the other thing, like is with what you were saying, if you just stand there, not only is the crowd just going to be bored, but if you really get into it, people are going to remember you. Hexproof just did a show in Clarksville that I went to, and Atlanta showed me a message that someone sent to her, and he was just like, I really love y'all's energy. Like, you guys just did such a good job, And Atlanta's a really good performer. Like, she's very good at, like, keeping the energy up. She is constantly moving on that stage. Like, you need at least one person who is constantly moving on that stage. Obviously, it helps if everyone in the band is kind of in on it. And I would say Hexproof does a pretty good job at, like, everyone getting in on it. But especially Atlanta, like, she is moving around. And even with that, with crowd participation, what I want to touch on is they have a song called Drive. And the first time that we saw her at the East Room, or one of the times we saw her, it has this part where it goes, go, go, go. And she was just doing that on her own. And she was like, we need to make that a crowd participation part. And people loved it in Clarksville. Like, people were really getting into it because it's easy, it's simple, and you're not having to sing. That is the one thing I will say about crowd participation. It is such hit or miss when you ask the crowd to sing a certain part, because I have seen it go really well, like with A Conundrum at Battle of the Bands. It went really well. And that was a bigger crowd. But I've also seen it where someone's like, all right, do this part. And it's really long. It's a lot of like different notes. And I'm like, I'm not going to sing this. Like, I'm sorry. It's embarrassing. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Got to keep it simple.
Yes. Keep it simple. And honestly, if you can make it more of a chant like that, I think that's better.
Yeah.
With that, we'll be right back.
podcast.com to view all of the newest and latest content that we put out. Also, do us a huge favor and hit like and subscribe on this YouTube video, and like and rate us on your favorite streaming platform. Each one of those things helps us out tremendously. We would love to hear your thoughts on what artists we should have on next, what content we should cover, what kind of topics we should discuss, and any tips and tricks you might have in the music industry. Thank you for being one of our favorite listeners, and enjoy the rest of the show.
So getting back on the topic of crowd pleasing in your show, there's two things that I wanted to kind of bring up that I think are one's definitely practical. One's kind of just more of an example. The example, I'll go with that one first because it's a little easier kind of to cite. You were talking about like somebody in the band needs to be moving, right? Somebody in the band needs to be moving. the first year of Battle of the Bands, there was a band named Arbor. They did a great job. They had great music. But the thing that I remember about them the most, from that set at least, and the thing I heard like the judges when they were talking about like the bands and everything like that, was they had one guy who was just going wild the entire set.
I think I remember that, yeah.
And it's the guy in the band nobody expects to go wild. It was the keyboardist.
Yeah.
It was the keyboardist. He was in a jumpsuit and kind of looked, he kind of had like this Jack Black kind of vibe going on. And he was just like,
yeah, I remember
like
that.
his legs were like doing windmills on the sides. I mean, he was just jumping, hopping the entire set. And it's kind of funny because like he wasn't really playing that much of the music. Most of the keyboards were in their tracks.
Right.
Now he played some of the lines, of course, but like he was just an onstage hype man for them in so many ways. And you know, I think their music would have won them that year as it was anyway. They ended up winning the first Battle of the Bands, and I think their music was great, and I think it was worthy of winning as well. But his performance sealed the deal for sure. And you know, years later, that's the thing I remember about them was like he was having a blast. Like the rest of them were having a good time. They all had good stage presence, but he was just being kind of crazy, kind of silly and comedic with it, and it fit. It was just fun. Everybody enjoyed the set. You just could sit there and smile and laugh like, oh, I appreciate his fun. But the other thing I was going to say about crowd pleasing is when you go to set your set list, when you go to make your set list, treat it like you do a song, right? You don't make a song that's flat. You don't make a song that starts in a place and continues in that same place dynamically, right? Your intros, intros are typically kind of like maybe they're a little softer, right? And you kind of warm into the song. You introduce the song with maybe a more sparse arrangement, and then you get to the verse, and maybe even more things drop out, right? The verse, maybe your first verse is kind of low, right? It's kind of soft, and then bam, you hit the chorus, right? Chorus jumps to be huge. You hit that second verse, and that second verse is smaller than the chorus, but maybe bigger than the first verse, right? Then you hit a third chorus, and then you strip it all back for a bridge, right? You have this dynamic. As you write the song, you kind of typically naturally do that, right? If you're a good songwriter. It has ups and downs. Your set list needs to be the same way. And you need to be mindful and purposeful when you create your set list, right? Now, maybe you start off with like a banger, like come out of the blue and you're just going, right? You start off huge. Well, if you try to do your whole show this big, where do you have to go, right? Do you have anything that goes this big? Well, if you don't start here, right? Save your big moment to when the big moment fits, you know, or maybe you start big and then you drop, really small. You drop to this tiny, maybe you go to an acoustic song after that, something really intimate. And you let your show have ups and downs because people appreciate contrast.
Yes.
And that contrast will help you so much feel like your songs are different. Because sometimes, especially when you're a new artist, people are going to sit there in the crowd or stand there in the crowd and feel like, oh, well, all their songs kind of sounded the same, right? Well, one way you can help differentiate that is by taking songs and doing really big ones followed by really small ones. You don't necessarily want to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You don't want it to be like a jarring, like whiplash, but you can build into it.Maybe you do a song that's this big, followed by a song that's this big, followed by a song that's this big, right? And you build into it, It's
a journey.
It is a journey. It's like a concept album.
You're literally taking,
right?
a concert should be a journey.
It's part of that experience. And if you don't give people a moment of break, then they can't mosh out either, right? People can't mosh if they're not feeling it. But they're not going to mosh if they're tired too, because they've been moshing for 5, 6 songs straight. You got to give people a moment to breathe, and you got to give, music is about emotion. It's about that performance. You got to give people moments that are super happy. You got to give them people moments that are like angry and aggressive. If that's your kind of music, you got to give people moments where they're going to feel like they want to cry because they're remembering their first love and how that didn't work out. And then you're going to give people moments that they're like, oh man, I can take on the world, right? but you have to give them a little bit of all of that, of whatever your music is. You got to give them those moments that they can appreciate and like realize, oh, this is really nice. I can get into this because I had a moment of breather, or I had a moment of like my breath caught, because that's really relatable and that's really like close. But then you turn around and you give them something, that they're going to want to drive down the road to, right? You got to have dynamic.
And even just for yourself as a performer, like you need a break.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, most people like need a little bit of a breather. So it's always good to have just kind of something that will slow it down if you have that in your discography, just for yourself and for your own sake. And I mean, even that's like kind of why people do jamming out during their concerts, just to, introduce the crowd to the band, but also probably just to like take a breather.
Yeah.
But one other thing that I also wanted to talk about, because you were talking about the guy on Arbor, a huge thing too, like get yourself a look, have yourself like, this is what I look like. Okay, I'm going to bring up Atlanta again. She has like all the crazy color hair. She literally, the way her money pieces are dyed in her hair, glow in the dark. And even Billy Ray Wallace, who headlined the show that you did, they all wear suits and sunglasses, and like they have a look about them. And so like there's so many things that you can do to make yourself memorable to an audience that will just help you. So if you have the look, if you have the sound, if you have the energy, then you have like such a great recipe for people to follow you after the concert and to keep up with you, because, oh my goodness, they had such good energy and they just looked so good. And not necessarily saying you have to have a costume for every single set, like, especially if that's not like the kind of artist you are. But I think if you're like kind of in that field or genre, like play into Anastasia Elliott. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That is a girl who knows how to perform. Not only her voice is outstanding, and she is just really interactive with the crowd. Before, like, we talked about this, how she's like christening us with like the purple cult and all that in her marketing, but also just her look. She has the purple hair, easily recognizable, and her costumes are all very elaborate. And so not everyone needs, to be Anastasia, but to have a certain look about you is so important and makes you memorable. Yeah. And that goes for social media too, which we've talked about.
Yeah. I mean, it's all brand market, brand imaging. You have to find a way to stand out compared to everyone else, whether that's in your genre or whether it's just other bands that are in your area. You got to find a way to make people remember you and not the band next to you.
Yes.
I mean, and you try to help each other, right? It's not like it's a competition of like, oh, I'm just the better band, right. But you do have to compete against people's natural inclination to forget.
Yeah.
That you're competing against.
Yes. There was something else that I had never heard about this before, but I was listening to a podcast about Amy Winehouse, and there's something called like the silhouette effect or something like that. And basically there are certain people in our history, like whether it be artists or movie stars, where you just can see a black silhouette of them and you know who it is. And so Amy Winehouse, she has the big bump. Elvis, big hair. Marilyn Monroe. Other artists that I can't think of right now. But like there's just so many, like if you can get yourself a look, especially one where like people could just see you like from the back or see you at a glance and immediately know, oh, that's so-and-so because they like always have this look, then that's a pretty good deal.
It's a good point. Yeah.
And you can do that, with your outfits. You can do that with logos and graphics. You can do that with, album covers, single covers,
even like your instruments too. Like if you have like your guitar, like if your guitar is tricked out or it glows in the dark, or I know the bass player I used to play with used to have like neon green strings that would glow in the dark.
Oh, that's so cool.
It was Kyle. He used to have it.
Nice. But guitars, you think about like B.B. King, what was his guitar's name? Lucille. Lucille.
You're asking the wrong people.
Oh, yeah.
Lucille. It's like
the PRS.
It's one of the most famous names of a guitar ever. He became known, for that. And whether that's Whether it's that, whether it's something, completely unrelated.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that. I'm gonna cut that part.
Dale likes to start journeys that,
Yeah.
can't finish.
I had an idea and then it just disappeared.
I feel that.
Well, is there anything that you guys want to mention about pleasing the crowd as we please this crowd?
I think we've done plenty of pleasing. I think Chick-fil-A would be proud of us.
Our pleasure.
Yeah.
The last thing I would say is know yourself and your own limitations too.
Yeah.
Not to say that you can't work on those and improve on that, but if you are a person, like if you're a frontman for a band and you're not good at talking directly to the crowd, then don't.
Yeah.
It's better to remain mysterious than open your mouth and show yourself a fool, so to speak.
Well, even for a goalkeeper, when it was the guitarist who was like going crazy, or maybe it was the bassist. I honestly can't tell the difference. I'm so sorry, y'all. I know.
We're on a music podcast and you don't know the difference between a guitar and a bass.
I never want to say if someone's a guitarist or a bassist because I genuinely don't know.
Guitar,
Uh-huh.
bass.
And how do you tell the difference? I don't know.
Look at the strings. Look at the tuning keys.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind from now on. Anyway.
Bass means big strings.
Okay, that's good to know. That actually is a really good tip because I genuinely never could tell.
Oh my goodness.
Professional advice from unprofessionals.
Yep. Anyway.
What's a bass?
I guess either the guitarist or bassist. I'll have to go back and look at the strings. But he was the one who was doing all the talking and he was the one who was running around. He was the one who was on 3 Red Bulls. Whereas the lead singer, he kind of like stood there more and he was a really good singer. But he did not do as much of the talking. And so like, I agree. Like as long as one person in your band is doing something that is keeping people's attention, then you're set.
And one other thing too is work on transitions.
Yes.
Transitions are make it break it in some ways. You want to keep your crowd involved. If you can't talk to the crowd, then program transitions. Find a way to keep the show rolling. That way people don't disengage from one song and have to try to re-engage for the next.
Yep. That's a really good point.
If you play an instrument, this is your time. If you are good at keys, like transition with keys is
Keys is great.
the best. Like
Yeah.
Luke, who we've had on the show, Luke Robbins,
Love him.
he plays keys and his transitions into some of the songs.
He's
even
really
in his
good.
set
He's
and
so good.
also in Billy's is like, oh my goodness, next level. So yeah, I think one last thing I will say is if you have good enough energy as a band, it will help to mask mistakes that you may or may not make.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Because that's happened to me a lot where I'll make so many mistakes melodically and it's like nobody notices because the energy is continuous. So like you want someone to notice you messing up, acknowledge that you just messed up. Like look at another musician and be like and make a face. Don't do that. Just act like nothing happened and keep the energy up and everything kind of falls into place. And it helps to keep your confidence up too. So
cool. All right. Well, we hope that we have pleased you as a crowd and please participate and comment. But we're going to take a little break and come back with our I was about to say show and yell with another segment.
Thank you for watching this clip of Successfully Unsigned. If you want to see more content like this in the future, please hit that like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to find us on social media platforms at successfully_unsigned or on our website at su-podcast.com.
As you guys know, we do our interviews and David was like, we need to lighten them up some, which totally understand. Look, I get really like involved in my questions. I just want to know everything.
You're such a boring personality, Patrick.
I really am.
yeah.
Anyway, so we're like, oh, well, we should add a little game into our interviews. So this is going to be our practice round that I'm going to do with you two. So we're going to pretend that I've been interviewing you two.
Okay.
And since you both are artists, basically what the game is going to be, I did copy this from Bottoms Up with Vanita on YouTube. She basically just asks, different artists and would you collab with them? And you can elaborate or you don't have to. So I'm literally just going to scroll through these different artists and just mention them. They should all be people that you guys know. Billy Joel.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I'll collab.
Also, let me make the preface of like, let's say you're like relatively on their level, because obviously like as a small artist, if a huge artist comes to you and is like, do you want to collab? You're probably going to say yes. Yeah. So just pretend that you're kind of like on their level.
Absolutely. Okay. Billy Joel. I love Billy Joel. Huge fan of him. Good. Even when I was younger, he was like, Uptown girl, she been living it. I loved his music. And then, well, after I loved his music, I actually found out that was, the song my mom walked down to at her wedding was a Billy Joel song. Not Uptown Girl. Not Uptown Girl. I don't remember what song it is now, but like, I was like, oh, that's really cool. I always loved the song.
To try and please me.
Random, but one of our friends whose wedding whose name I won't say, obviously, she walked down the aisle to Every Breath You Take. Guys, that's what she walked down the aisle to, and I was like, oh.
Have you heard the rest of that album? Huh? Have you heard the rest of that album?
I was thinking
Synchronicity.
Yeah.
The Mother song.
Oh boy!
If you haven't heard that, I'm not gonna say do yourself a favor and listen to it, but
they probably
if you feel like hearing something weird, listen to it.
Yeah.
Cool story behind the album. The album was like recorded on an island, on an island studio. No longer exists because of hurricanes. One of the guys that was a huge force behind Abbey Road Studios is the one that built and designed and ran that studio. Anyway, yeah, it was like a cool like island getaway, and most of the album was written, I think, actually in Jamaica. Sting wrote, I think he said most of it like on a rooftop in Jamaica, and then he went to the other island to record it and stuff. And the drums in a lot of those songs were recorded in the kitchen in that studio, not in the actual studio room. So
that must be.
And then 20 years later, he was in the B movie. Metallica. Okay. Also, let's say like you are genre shifting. You can do whatever.
I would.
No, probably not.
No,
it'd be fun.
Mm-mm.
Okay. U2.
No.
Period.
I'm sorry. As soon as you forced your album on my iTunes, it was over.
You're gonna trigger some people, which over. I was about to say the same thing, but there's people out there now who are like, get over it. Like U2, it was Apple who did it. And like, it's a good album. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's a good album. It was annoying, and I am still bitter about it. Cher.
I would collab with Cher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Period.
I wouldn't be against it, but I don't know that I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Okay. Let's see. Dua Lipa. Dua Peep.
Yeah.
We need to make a
I love
peep
her.
That's Dua Lipa.
They do Dua Peep, which is a Wendy Williams quote. It's all coming full circle, folks. Harry Styles.
Yeah. Some of his more recent stuff I actually really like.
Yeah, I think you really like some of his stuff.
For sure.
J-Lo.
Oh.
Tonight we gonna make it on.
She's
had some controversy lately. I don't know what it's about.
I'm sure it's great.
Elton John.
I think you'd be a fool to say no. He's not my favorite artist
Elton
out there,
John,
but
and you have to wear one of his outfits.
Yeah, and he will flirt with you.
Scary.
I don't know. In the right context, I would totally wear an outfit and go perform. I'm a very reserved individual.
I would wear an outfit and not perform. I would just wear it to like the grocery store.
You do on a daily if you could.
Yeah.
I'm typically a reserved person, but when you get up on stage, you can kind of go in, persona mode and, be wild, be crazy. I'm not the most wild and crazy person by any means, but I think I have a lot more propensity to do that on a stage than I would just like walk into the grocery store.
Okay. Right.
You?
Which one was it again?
Elton
John. You have to wear a costume.
I'm good. I'm straight on that.
Lame. Okay. This is going to be a test. Justin Timberlake.
Which era of JT?
Justin Timberlake. He just asked you to collab. Figure it out.
Heck yeah, I would.
Okay.
This man got Timberland connections.
Yeah.
Britney Spears.
No.
And everyone, these two are going immediately to jail. These two are immediately in controversy. They just got our show canceled, genuinely. I'm so serious. I'm actually mad right now.
Why?
I think we
Because
should.
the fact that you would say yes to Justin but no to Brittany.
Oh boy.
What's wrong with that?
Go
what's
read
wrong
the
with
Brittany
that?
book.
Let's rename
Like-
the segment "What Triggers Patrick" because
You
that
You didn't
was a
ask us
setup.
to be like their best friend and approve of everything
Right.
they do. And first off, I
But
have
you
no idea
wouldn't
what happened.
collab with Brittany.
Musically, no.
Well, how? I mean, I don't know what I'd have in common with
But
Brittany.
like JT's song,
What do you have in common with Elton John?
he's a legend
So is Brittany.
in a different way, yeah. But like a totally different thing. But like JT has what was that song? Say something. Say something.
Yeah,
say
yeah.
like it's an awesome song. The video to that, amazing. Like I would love to do something like that. I think Brittany has
I would
some
like to
cool and like
formally
influential
apologize
stuff. But
to all of our listeners and for the dense minds that my co-hosts have.
Leave Brittany alone. That's
promise-
literally him right now.
I promise that I am. Would you guys collab with Poppy the Troll?
no.
Honestly,
It's
at this,
Anna Kendrick,
at this point,
technically.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Depends on what point in my life
I'm
I'm at.
sorry. Like
They'll actually leave the show. Genuinely.
I will. In my own house, I will.
Actually, this one will. Ariana Grande.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, because she knows. You guys know that she's gonna. While you guys are married, she's gonna get with y'all.
What? Isn't she like 12? Like, how old is she?
Ariana Grande.
I mean, she's younger.
She's like in her 30s.
She's in her 30s? No, she's
Isn't
not.
she like 12? She was on
Something.
Nickelodeon. Like, oh,
How old is she? Whatever. Move on. I thought she was younger. She looks like she's very young.
she was
That's
in.
my point.
She was born in '93.
Wait, she's older than me. Jeez.
Yeah,
Okay, well, she looks young. I'm sorry. She looks young. Does she not
Okay.
look young?
I mean she does, but
Okay.
she,
Sorry,
she was
just covering my bases
She was a
here.
teenager in like 2011.
Okay. I
On
was-
Victorious.
I was off of that by then.
Okay. Madonna.
Probably not.
Maybe.
No.
I'm on the same level. I don't know. I wouldn't like, it wouldn't be like a hard no, but it depends on the song.
Yeah, it would depend on
depend
the song for me too.
Yeah.
She's an interesting person. Mariah Carey.
Maybe.
Yeah. I would
Maybe.
collab with Mariah.
I don't know. Like, I like her music, but I don't really care for her as a person. So I don't think I would.
We're not co-signing on everything we're doing.
over here like, oh yeah, the music, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, the people, Brittany, JT.
She slapped
no.
an elderly person one time,
Okay.
so you can't.
Well, and here's my thing. I'm not upset that you guys picked Justin. I'm upset that you picked Justin, but not Brittany.
Because
Why?
we
Makes
don't.
sense.
Why?
The taste is different.
Totally different
with
kind of
Brittany.
music.
Yeah.
And y'all are bad people, and that's okay.
But name a song that Britney's released in the past 5 years that's like good.
To be fair, she hasn't released music in a very long time because she has been mentally ill because her parents put her on like many suppressants and drugs. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna buy you guys a copy of her book. Okay, the final one, which is going to be one for every single one of our episodes, Taylor Swift.
I would have to say yes.
What?
I would have to say yes.
I think you're a fool if you say no.
yeah,
Genuinely,
because even with the stipulation, same level,
you're not on the same level as her.
she's become one of, if not the biggest musical superstars of all time. Love
You
it
know
or
how
hate
much
it.
money she's going to get you, and let's just be real, her songwriting's great.
It's just too much compromising for me. I can't.
Oh, but David, we're not talking about the personality. We're just talking about.
I'm not
the
talking about the
music.
personality. I don't like her music. It is about the music for me.
I think that it
This
would.
man desperately wants to make me into a villain
Yeah.
who hates Taylor Swift.
If it's a female pop star, then we're
It's
villainized.
not possible to
We're
just not
villainized.
like someone's music.
I think
Yeah.
that her music probably goes more with your music than. Who are some other people that we said? Dua Lipa.
No, it doesn't. Have you listened to Dua Lipa? She's like very funk and R&B based.
Yeah, I
So
do agree
no,
to
that
that.
is not true.
Yes.
I would agree to that.
And also, Dua Lipa songs are like not 10 minutes. They're like normal.
Okay,
length.
not all of Taylor's songs are 10 minutes.
Sorry, 6, 5, whatever.
I like kind of her dark pop stuff.
Yeah, well,
Like,
that's the thing too.
yeah.
Like, she's getting back into like
Yeah.
pop. Like, she had like folklore and Evermore. And once again, I am Swiftie adjacent, is what I like to say. But I do think
clearly.
I do think that you would be a fool no matter what artist you are, even if you like hate Taylor Swift. I think you'd be a fool to not collab with her. I mean, Ice Spice collabed with her. Come on. Ice Spice and Taylor Swift are completely opposite.
That's a business move that you kind of have to take. Like, I'm not opposed to like cross genre like collabs though, because think about like the country R&B collabs.
Yeah,
that have
we
done
had a whole
like
episode
crazy
on collabs
good,
in this spot. Go check it out. Nicki Minaj. Oh my goodness, I would collab with Nicki.
I think you would follow her around like everywhere if you could.
Yeah, she also just had some controversy, so you know what, I'm redacting that statement.
Oh, the controversy.
Don't cancel me.
You need to get a Nicki Minaj peep. That'd be dope.
Okay, well, I am going to go separate myself from these two because
please do.
I don't know. I don't know if I can be part of this show anymore. So you guys just lost.
How poetic is that? Our season 2 begins with a Taylor controversy and it ends with the Taylor controversy.
We have like poetic. A Taylor controversy in like every episode. Yeah. Like it's basically a theme of our show.
I want to ask everybody, should we vote Patrick off the island?
Please, you know people will say no.
I'll create some fake accounts.
Especially with me running the social media.
Yeah.
You just lost like half your people.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Everyone loves me.
It's true.
Okay, y'all. But in all seriousness, while I think that these men make some bad decisions at times, I do love them. So I guess I'll stay.
So we don't make as bad of life decisions as you do.
On that note, we're gonna end the show before we all kill each other. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Go to the website
podcast.
Did I say SU?
Yes.
SU-podcast.com. Go follow us, Instagram, YouTube, newsletter.
If you want to get behind the scenes takes and thoughts that we all have, tips, show reviews, get on that newsletter. It's on the website.
Awesome. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.